Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Diamond with only version exclusives was a fun team run. Let's follow that up with another fun bad ability run. Today's the day that we figure out, would I be able to beat Pokemon Black 2 with a team of only one Regigigas? So I'm sure you already know the drill from the other Regigigas runs, but we're a Pokemon with amazing stats, with the downside of an ability that makes us weaker. You see here that we have simply incredible attack, but the problem is that for the first 5 turns of the battle, we have half as much attack and speed as we should. That means that in the harder fights, we're going to be trying to find ways to stall early on in the fight so that we can get to full strength before the end. By level up, we learn some cool moves like Confuse Ray, Zen Headbutt, and Revenge, although the crazy stuff like Giga Impact is at such a high level that we're probably never going to learn it. There are some elemental punches at level 1, but we'd have to use the move Reminder? Relearner? I never remember his name, but that's the guy who would let us get access to those moves. By TM, there's a lot of stuff that we can learn with decent type coverage, but being a good physical attacker means that we're probably going to want to focus hard on the physical side of things, regardless of if we could be using a super effective special move or not. It'll probably be case by case. There might still be instances where we would prefer using a special move. It's hard to say. Like always, I'm writing this script as I go through with the challenge, so this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I'm sure that I can win. These Regigigas runs are all about seeing where we get stuck and experiencing the really interesting fights. Wish me luck. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Regigigas. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So, right off the bat, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Snivy with Regigigas so that we can do the whole run with it. I picked to replace Snivy so that our rival would have Emboar, probably the hardest for us to fight. I name him Gigas, like usual. Our nature is Adamant, for more attack and less special attack. That is literally the perfect nature for us. I didn't even have to re-roll or anything. That was the first one we got. Really lucked out on that. So while I do some early game travel, judging by the comments, loads of you don't know that I've ever played Black 2 or White 2. I did once in my life, a few years ago for a Christmas challenge. It was super fun. Like always, whenever I do my first challenge run in a game, I try to make it a lot longer and go over some of the story and the order of the events. I have a lot of people who watch me who don't actually play these Pokemon or Bethesda games themselves, so I like to have an introductory episode that helps teach them the flow of the game. Well, that Christmas run was my own introduction as well, since it was the first time I ever played Black or White 2. Not to be confused with Black and White 2. That's a game I Let's Played on this channel many years ago. I mean, that game's like this awesome god game where you make a civilization and raise these giant animals and stuff, but it's got nothing to do with Pokemon Black and White 2. Like, Pokemon Black and White 2 came out like half a decade after the game called Black and White 2. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that I'm going to be doing this run in the typical style of my normal ones, but I'm still personally pretty inexperienced at the game, so I'm probably going to miss some obvious stuff. Okay, hold on. I miss some pretty obvious stuff all the time, but you get what I mean. If you're looking for a more in-depth video on the order of events and everything in this game, with a lot more jokes, then check out the Black 2 Christmas episode that I did. I'm super proud of that one. Lots of jokes about getting shanked in Hamilton, the #1 Hamilton, Ontario, Canada pastime. Alright, I'm gonna go fight our rival and the normal gym leader. So the first rival fight was super easy, as expected. Even with us at a lower level and with slow start active, we're just way too strong for these early game Pokemon. I figure things should be pretty simple until we're maybe around the 3rd gym, but you never know. My knowledge of this game isn't great. Maybe I'll try and avoid some trainers to try and keep our level a little bit lower. Hey, at the normal gym, we actually took a lot more damage than I expected. See, the problem is that we don't quite one-shot despite how strong we are. In early game, you just don't have that much health, so even pretty weak Pokemon can mess you up if you get hit enough. We lost half of our health in this fight before we finally got our act together and finished them off. Alright, next up is the Poison Gym. I seem to remember that you have to do some little side area with a Pokemon Studio first, but that doesn't really have anything to do with this challenge, so I'm not going to make you watch that. I don't remember the Poison Gym being too difficult, but I kinda worry about how much getting poisoned could be a problem in a run where we aren't our strongest until 5 turns have passed. It kind of works against our incentive to stall, you know? I guess I could learn Return super early and probably brute force whatever we fight, but I kind of want to hold off on that until I'm choosing between learning Return and grinding. Return is absolutely more interesting of a choice over just grinding to a higher level, but I bet that I could hold off on doing either one of those for now. Still, even if the Poison Gym is easy, I bet the Bug Gym won't be. And even if it magically is easy, then the Electric Gym will probably be rough. When isn't the Gen 5 Electric Gym rough? Oh yeah, now's a great time to remind you, I have a Patreon. There's nothing really special on there, it's just a great way to support me if you'd like to, don't feel obligated. I don't really take many sponsorships because I'm picky, and the only ones that I take are ones that I really believe in, so fan funding really helps keep everything running smoothly. And I know people just say to take whatever garbage sponsorships anyway just for the money, but honestly, please stop suggesting that. It's not gonna happen. I make a show that I'm proud of, and selling it for money isn't something that I would be proud of. I'm gonna keep on only taking sponsorships if I actually like the product, like Chimera or Factor Meals. Onto the Poison Gym. Right away, we just confused Coughing into hitting herself, then started laying in some dizzy punches. We weren't doing a ton since Coughing is a high defense Pokemon, and it held on extra long because of her super potion, but once we got rid of Slow Start, we took it out pretty fast. Second was Whirlipede, but all it was doing was using Venoshock when we weren't even poisoned, so we took it out. We actually ended up getting poisoned by Poison Point on the same move that we won the fight, just to make things a little more annoying on the way out. I feel like this run is moving pretty fast. And it's not just because we're a Regigigas, although I'm sure the fact that we're not over-leveled helps. Gen 5 has a mechanic where you get less experience from Pokemon if you're a higher level than them, so us being not over-leveled means that we're leveling up a little bit quicker. Oh yeah, that reminds me. People often tell me that there's an option in the randomizer to make it so that it uses the classic experience system, but yeah, there isn't. I don't know how to break it to you, but it actually does the opposite of what you think it does. It adds the Gen 5 experience system into non-Gen 5 games. That means that it actually makes these runs take even longer. I know, it's a shame. It is what it is, though. I can't really blame Game Freak for adding an experience system that accidentally makes my weird Pokemon challenges harder. They've got to balance the game for the majority of normal people who play it, not the 0.001% of weirdos who play it in weird ways like I do. Anyway, let's go do the Bug Gym and see if it's hard. I made sure to pick up the leftovers in the sewer before the Bug Gym because I'm not insane. It's gotta be the easiest to get leftovers in any Pokemon game, right? Like, it doesn't even matter what season it's in as far as I can tell, you can just always get it. It's unreal. So the Bug Gym was actually only a win thanks to having leftovers, mostly because we just didn't hit hard at all anymore. Yeah, we hit hard after we stall for a while with Confuse Ray and get to shake off Slow Start, but even then it's not great. Dizzy Punch just isn't great anymore, and the fact that we don't have many power points for it causes real issues. We actually ran out of power points on the finishing move, and we would have had to have resorted to Knockoff if that wasn't enough to take him out. Honestly, I'm tempted to learn Strength just to get a few more power points, but I don't really want to commit to that until I can reach the move deleter. I'm just happy that I get a new move in a couple levels. Revenge is a pretty good one to have on a run where we already have leftovers after all. After that is the first fight with Colress, although it's not exactly that threatening, but it showed another problem that we have. Our stalling gives them a lot of chances to drop status afflictions on us, so we end up getting paralyzed pretty early. I figure in the future we might get around this with Substitute, but that TM's in Twist Mountain. Can we even get into Twist Mountain before the post-game in Black 2? I don't actually know. I know the main story doesn't take you there. I guess I'll have to find out later, but I hope I can get it. Substitute with leftovers is a really nice combo. It'll be even better if I can learn Drain Punch through tutored moves, but I don't know how practical it'll be to get 10 yellow shards for that. We'll see how necessary that is. So you know how I was just talking about how I give them a lot of chances to paralyze us? Well, we're on the road to the Electric Gym. Needless to say, I could see this going pretty badly. The Electric Gym is always an issue in Black and White, but I don't really remember how it is in Black and White 2, other than the fact that it's like some kind of runway fashion show type thing. I don't really remember her team or how strong they are, but I guess we're about to find out the hard way. I'm sure she still Volt Switches the whole time. Alright, so this goes very poorly and I'm sure you can see why. Confuse Ray is a whole lot less effective at stalling here because of them using Volt Switch to switch back and forth every turn. We can't just use Revenge half the time because Emolga resists it, and we get paralyzed early from static if we're hitting them. Sometimes we can take one of them out, but we always go down and never even see Zeb strike at the end. Okay, I think it's time to learn Return and then try the fight some more. So I learn Return and give it another couple tries, but things go almost the exact same. Yes, sometimes we see Zeb strike now, but we still just faint right away. Volt Switch is just doing a bit of damage to us, and it takes forever to shake off Slow Start. Even with our leftovers, we don't have enough health to survive this. We can't get our hands on Earthquake until after the gym, and we don't learn Protect or Detect to stall with. So I think I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and grind a bit. Okay, after a little bit of grinding, I come back at level 30. Things go much better this time, mostly because we take a bit less damage and are actually faster than Flaffy, so we can take it out really early. Because of that, we can start getting damage in on Zebstrika early, and we actually stand a chance. We still weren't doing amazingly, but thanks to not getting paralyzed off static, we were faster than them after 5 turns and pretty easily finished them off. I'm just happy that I finally won. So now we have to head west, but I remember there being kind of like some tournament thing that we have to do. I think it was our rival, Colress, and someone else. Probably Bianca or Charon. I don't really remember how hard it was, but I do remember that I have a ground gym fight first. I'm kind of worried about that. I could see that being hard. Hey, at least if they have steel types, I'll have Revenge to deal with it. You know, if he isn't just using stuff like Hone Claws the entire time. Revenge is only strong if they hit me first, otherwise it's a bit weak. I think we'll properly get into the Team Plasma stuff after the tournament, so let's have a bit of a boss rush. Oh yeah, Charles here won't fight me unless I have 3 Pokemon, but I need to fight him to progress. Okay, well, he's not exactly a boss battle, plus you can just choose to use only one of your 3 Pokemon in a rotation battle. I'll just catch some random stuff to get past him and then box it. Then I'll get to the ground gym. Oh yeah, I meant to say this earlier, by the way, but thanks for all the super thanks. It still feels horrible to say they really need to rename Super Thanks, and the memberships and Patreon pledges and all of that stuff as of late. My cat Sabu has some dental work to do, and it turns out that he might also have asthma, so I got some hefty vet bills piling up, so it's really been helpful. I would get Sabu to thank you himself, but he's rude and would rather be trying to get on my table to walk on my keyboard than writing a formal thank you letter to you. Right away, we have to deal with Krokorok, so our attack is down from Intimidate. We confused him as he used Torment to just waste the first turn, then we took him out with one of our hits of Revenge. Sandslash was second, but we really were not doing much damage with a Return, so I switched to Revenge as he used Rollout. We got rid of Slow Start, but ended up being crit by his final Rollout to take tons of our health and damage before we took him down. I hate that he survived Knockoff, but we couldn't just use Return again because of Torment. Last was Excadrill, who nearly took us out with a critical Bulldoze, but got one-shot by Revenge. Wow, that was pretty close. Now it's time for the tournament. It starts great with our rival just getting totally swept before Slow Start even ended. He's just a way lower level than us at this point. He really should have grinded more before entering a tournament like this. Next is Charon, who's only got normal types and is also only level 25, so naturally we crushed him with Revenge. He put us to sleep for a little bit, but he hardly hurt us while we were out, so it went fine. Tournament's pretty easy so far. Huh. Well, Colress is last, and it seems like everyone in the tournament is just using teams of level 25 Pokemon, so we took them out like they were nothing. Did I miss a memo or something? Is this the Poke Cup from Pokemon Stadium, and I'm supposed to be using level 25s? Okay, wait, hold on. Was it the Poke Cup that was level 25? Oh man, it's been so long since I did that Pokemon Stadium Let's Play that I don't even remember anymore. Maybe it was the Petite Cup? I'm still gonna do Pokemon Stadium 2 someday, by the way. I promise. You know the rules, though. I can't answer soon. I can't answer when. It'll happen eventually, and it'll be awesome when it does. Well, that was easy. I guess that means I'm traveling to the flying gym now, but I don't really know how well that's gonna go. Normally, it's an easy one in regular Pokemon Black, but I don't remember what it's like in this one. We don't have anything super effective against flying types, so I kind of have to just hope I can brute force or find a TM that's good against them if they're causing too many problems, but I feel like things have been reasonably smooth sailing for a little while. I mean, at least after beating that electric gym, that was pretty hard. If I really need to, I could get Rock Tomb, but I don't think it would be as strong as Return anyway, so I guess I gotta commit and hope for the best. What's after that? Arrival? Then I think the Dragon Gym? Yeah, that one might be a little bit hard, actually. Let's find out when we get there. Well, here I was worried the Flying Gym might be hard. Nah, I think that our power really caught up. We were destroying them before Slow Start even ended, and once it did end, we even made short work of a Skarmory. That's a Steel type with high defense. I'm really happy with how much damage we're dealing. Alright, well, that means we're taking a plane ride over to Reversal Mountain. One day I should do a White 2 run instead. Apparently this place is full of lava in that version. I do think it with the black rock and the water looks pretty cool though. So I have a rival fight coming up, then I think it's some Team Plasma double battle stuff, followed by the Dragon Gym. Well, our rival was pretty much a total squash yet again. I think it's mostly the combo of us being a few levels higher than him and our leftovers. I don't think this sweep is gonna last much longer though. We should be about equal with them in levels by the time of the Dragon Gym. And of course after that is our double battle where we have a pretty easy time fighting alongside our rival. Unlike in Gen 4, our rival is actually a decent partner this time. I've noticed the trainers between routes sometimes mess us up though, especially if they have any fighting moves. I think we could actually lose this upcoming Dragon Gym. Okay, so I actually lost this a couple times at the start due to Revenge doing double damage if we hit him, so I switched to spamming Confuse Ray until the slow start ended, but on our first try with that strategy, he never hit himself, so we went down again. On the third try though, he hit himself plenty, so we could just use Return to take out Dredagon. Second was Flygon, and I'm really happy his Dragon Tail missed because that would have switched us into an HM Pokemon that I forgot to deposit, and I'd probably just have to do the fight all over again. I guess I could just switch back to Regigigas, but I'm sure I would have fainted doing that. We took him out easily in 2 hits. Last was Haxorus, but we just one-shot him. We're not so invincible anymore though, so things might be about to get difficult. On our way out of town, we have to fight Zinzolin, I think it's how you pronounce that. And he's kind of like a boss fight, I guess, but honestly his whole team is so physically frail that we made short work of him before our slow start even ended. It's a good thing that we're not weak against ice types. Hey, we're already on our way to the water gym. I feel like this has been a pretty fast run. I mean, I think most of it is that we have leftovers. Having leftovers in a high health Pokemon is kind of insane. Maybe I've got to do a Munchlax run in Black 2. That could be pretty cool. Or Shuckle. Really, I should just do more Black and White 2 runs in general. It's a pretty fun game. Obviously, grinding in solo runs in Gen 5 sucks, but that's probably why this run has gone quickly. We haven't really needed to grind that much since we get so many stat points on each level up. Now that said, the water gym could be hard. I don't at all remember what it's like, but it's the final gym, so I know it won't be easy. Let's find out. Alright, this one is insane. Right away, Caracosta uses Shell Smash to lower his defense, but raise both of his attack stats and speed as we confuse him, just for him to shake off confusion right away and start hitting Scald. We go for Revenge to deal good damage, but he's really messing us up. He used a Hyper Potion to heal, and that gave us more time to heal with our leftovers, but his Scald brought us to really low health by the time we took him out. Second is Wailord, who looks absolutely enormous in this game. We shook off Slow Start, nearly one-shot him, and he just used Amnesia a bunch, and we finished him off after that. Last was Jellicent, and I thought we were doomed when his cursed body disabled our Zen Headbutt, and his Brine dropped us into red health, but then our confusion paid off big time, as he hit himself 3 times in a row, giving us enough time for Zen Headbutt to be usable again for us to finish him off. I got so lucky there with confusion, that was unreal. Alright, we're getting pretty close to the end of the game. We've got a bunch of Team Plasma fights coming up soon, but first I have to do some puzzles and double battles. Really quick though, I got this tweeted at me again. This happens once in a blue moon, but someone will tell me that they can't turn on notifications on my channel because it's marked as for children. Now, I mark all of my videos as not made for children, and although YouTube will sometimes overrule people and mark videos for children anyway, they've never done that on my channel. I would have a notification on my channel if that was the case, but I don't. I think it's more likely that it's just a glitch on the YouTube mobile app, because this only seems to happen to some people, and I think every time it's happened, it's been on the mobile app. You might want to double check and see if you're able to turn notifications on my channel or not though. Don't feel like you need to if you don't want to, obviously. I know I also upload Let's Play videos, and some of you just aren't interested in that. No hard feelings, I don't really care. But considering how many of you tell me that my videos just never come up in your feed anymore and that you'd like them to, you might want to look into if you're able to turn on notifications. It might help, if it even decides to work. So the double battle against Zinzolin and some grunts go pretty well, but a lot of it is that our partner isn't totally useless in this game. I know that feels weird to bring up, but seriously, our rival being our tag team partner in Platinum never ceases to amaze me with how bad he is. In this game though, our rival does a pretty good job of teaming with us, so we have an easy time taking down their team. It is 6 total Pokemon though, so it does take a little while. Okay, so we have tons of Team Plasma fights between us and Victory Road. We have to fight that Zinzolin guy again, then Colress again, then finally Getsis. If I remember right, Getsis isn't as tough in this as he was in Black and White, but that makes sense. He's not the final boss in this game like he was in those. Still, I could see some of these fights being pretty hard. Colress and Getsis in particular. We'll see how they go. Wish me luck. First is Zinzolin sending out his Cryogonal. It confuses us and we hit ourselves, but that's fine. That just wasted some time. We got hit by a kind of strong Ice Beam, but we took him out on the next turn. His other Cryogonal didn't last very long at all, but after that was Weavile, who crit us with Night Slash for some huge damage. The second one almost made us faint before we took him out. Hey, if that second one had crit as well, we'd have fainted. Next is Colress, starting with his Magneton, who Volt Switches straight out to Magnezone. We nailed it with Revenge for less damage than I'd like, took a hit, then finished it off with about half of our health left. Out to Kling Klang, who just used Gear Shift twice, so I kept hitting Revenge. He used a full restore on the third turn, then we shook off Slow Start, and he just kept using Gear Shift until he fainted. Matang was spamming Agility, but only got a weak Meteor Mash in before we took it out. Behem was next? I really don't know how to pronounce that one. So I confused it, it hit itself, and then I used Return to finish it off. Honestly, I should have just used Return. I kind of forgot if it was Ghost or not. It looks a little bit like a Ghost. It's probably just Psychic. Last is his original Magneton, who paralyzed us, but it went down easily between Revenge and Return. Last is Getsis. Regigigas wasted the first turn with Protect, then hit itself in Confusion, then we hit it with Zen Headbutt to replace our ability with Mummy, and he flinched. He's Protect again, and then we hit a Zen Headbutt after that while he was hitting himself again, and we finished him off on the next turn. What a wild start. Seismitoad went down in 1 return, Toxicroak went down in 1 Zen Headbutt, Drapion went down in 1 return, and last was Hydreigon, who hit Dragon Rush, then went down in 1 hit of Revenge. That was a pretty easy Getsis fight. Future MDB here, Electrosos one-shot too. I forgot that I fought it. Hey, it's time for Victory Road, and that means that we just have a rival fight, the Elite Four, and the Pokemon Champion left. Now, I could see the next rival fight actually being a problem, since he gets pretty strong by this point in the game, but we'll have to see. The Elite Four, though, I'm not confident. Maybe Grimsley will be easy, maybe even Caitlyn, but Marshall will probably be a loss, and I really doubt we're ready for Chantel. Maybe with some reworking of the movesets, but still, I think that I just need to be a higher level. I'm actually not too worried about the Pokemon Champion herself, but I could be overconfident. I don't remember her being too crazy last time I played, but then again, that was an Ice-type run, and she did used to be the Dragon Gym leader, so that kind of makes sense. Let's see how the rival fight goes. So our rival starts with Unpheasant, but just switches to Simipour with U-turn on the first turn. Then he hits himself in Confusion as we hit Return. He uses a Max Potion, we hit Return again, and it crit for a one-shot. Amazing start. Emboar's next though, and it's faster and hits incredibly hard with Brick Break. We hit harder with Zen Headbutt, took a Brick Break to almost faint, then finished him off and shook off Slow Start. Next is Bufflant, and we left him with a Sliver off Return, then got knocked out. Wow, that was rough. Okay, I'm gonna keep trying. I do feel like this is possible. A few tries later and he uses U-turn again, and we confuse Simipour, but this time, I just spam Confuse Ray to keep Simipour alive longer so we can get rid of Slow Start earlier. We had great luck with him hitting himself often, and his Surf didn't do a ton to us, so as Slow Start started to wear off, we hit Revenge, he used a Max Potion, then we used Return to knock him out. Our health isn't amazing though. Emboar came out, and this time we were faster and hitting super hard with Zen Headbutt, so we got a one-shot. Thanks to that, Bufflant wasn't able to knock us out and fainted to his own head charge. Next is the Unpheasant from the start, who went down in one return. There we go, we just needed a little change in strategy. Now that we're at the Elite Four, let's take a look at our stats. I mean, our stats are awesome, but I still just don't see us beating the Elite Four yet. Maybe with a bit of a reworking of the moveset, but even then, our options are limited. I've got the TM for Payback, and I'm sure that I'll use that at least a little bit, but I don't know if that alone is going to be enough for us to get the win. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Dark Trainer Grimsley. Right away we get hit by Fake Out, but we just healed back up fully with leftovers, so that was perfect. It just wasted a turn. We tanked a shot and used Revenge to take out Lipard. Second was Scrafty though, so Revenge wasn't a one-shot and we lost speed to Rock Tomb. He used a full restore as we used Return, then we took huge damage off Brick Break before we took him out and shook off Slow Start. Next is Crocodile, so our attack is down from Intimidate, and we lost a lot of health to Earthquake before getting a one-shot with Revenge. And last was Bisharp, who brought us to pretty low health with Night Slash before we took him out with Revenge as well. If that Night Slash had crit, I think we'd have fainted. If the Dark Trainer was that close, I really doubt we can win yet. Second is Fighting Trainer Marshall. Well, things didn't start great against Throw. We confused him early and got him to hit himself, but then he started using Storm Throw. It's a fighting move that always crits, and naturally as a normal type, we're taking a ton of damage. Not only that, but our Zen Headbutts weren't doing a ton. We took him out, but after that, the Mind Shao easily outsped us and took us out. I guess I could hope for awesome confusion luck, but that's kind of a long shot. I'll try the other Elite Four members first and see what happens. Third is Psychic Trainer Caitlyn. Right away, we confused Masharna into hitting herself, but on the second round she used Yawn, so although we took her out, we fell asleep in the process. Second is Reuniclus, and although we were asleep for quite a while, we lucked out and it missed Focus Blast twice, so we actually ended up waking up, shaking off Slow Start, and one-shotting it with Return. Well, that was nice. I don't think I needed two of them to miss, but I for sure needed one of them to miss. Sigalith was a one-shot right after, and last is Gothitelle, who survived, hit Psychic for just a bit of damage, then went down to Return. That was great! Kinda thought I'd need to learn Payback for that fight. I think I am gonna learn it for the Chantel fight though. There's no way we're winning that one with Zen Headbutt. I mean, unless we get the best flinch luck of all time. Fourth is Ghost Trainer Chantel. Right away we confuse Cofagrigus, then hit Payback to replace our ability with Mummy as she hits herself. After that, we can just take her out with Payback. I'm really happy she hit herself twice, because otherwise we probably would have been burned off Will-O-Wisp and lose. Next is Golurk, who hardly hurt us with Brick Break, so we just two-shot it. But after that is Chandelure, and we ended up getting burned off Flame Body after a Payback. Then we got rocked with Fire Blast. Because of the burn, we couldn't finish her off, and even though she missed, she full restored, so it took more turns to take her out, and thus more burn damage. Driftbloom was last, and we'd have one-shot her if we weren't burned, but we are, so we took a Thunderbolt to take us out. Man, that was so close. I would need Cofagrigus to hit herself twice in a row again to get that far, though, then hope that Flame Body doesn't get us. I'll try the fight a few more times and just see what happens. Maybe with the right damage range we could take her out even with a burn? Who knows? Oh well, never mind. Here I was thinking it would take tons of tries, but on the very next try, Cofagrigus never went for Will-O-Wisp, and Flame Body never activated, so we had a pretty easy time winning. Yeah, we ended with red health because of the aftermath on Driftbloom, but that's alright. It went pretty well overall. I guess I'll try the Marshall fight a few more times and just see what happens. So I tried a couple more times and managed to get better confusion luck on Throw, so he never got us with Bulldoze to lower our speed. Problem is, Mind Shao is still faster and hits incredibly hard. We confused it, but it still took us out. Okay, maybe a few more tries. If he either hits himself or misses high jump kick, then I think we stand a chance. Alright, next try and things go much better. We ended up stalling just a little bit longer against Throw, and thanks to that, we were able to shake off Slow Start on the same turn that we took him out, at the cost of a little bit more health. That made us faster than Mind Shao, so we took him out in one hit. Conkeldurr wasn't a one-shot, but he just used Bulk Up, so we took him out on the next turn. And last was Sock, who can't get one-shot thanks to his ability, but all he did was hit a weak Payback. That was perfect. Alright, I'm gonna swap Payback for Return again, and then it's time for the final boss. Oh, and I'll take Thunderbolt. Yeah, it doesn't use attack, but I just don't think we need Zen Headbutt anymore. Finally, the Pokemon Champion Iris. First up is Hydreigon, and I want to stall as long as I can, so I took a hit and used Confuse Ray, then lucked out with her hitting herself next turn. I started using Thunderbolt to keep her from fainting, and it brought her to low enough health for a full restore, so I used another Confuse Ray, and it paid off as she healed, then hit herself. We shook off Slow Start, then just took her out. Second is Druddigon, who was a one-shot with Return, and third is Aggron, so we just used Revenge. All she did was buff her stats, so we one-shot her as well. Haxorus wasn't a one-shot with Return, but we just got hit by a pretty weak Earthquake, then took it out. Second from last is Lapras, and that's when things went wrong fast. I went for Revenge, but she hit Sung to sleep us, then started hitting Ice Beams and Surfs. The Surf even crit to almost take us out. Eventually, we woke up and hit Revenge to take her out, but our health is way lower now. Last is Archeops, and it could probably take us out with Acrobatics, but our Thunderbolt dropped him into red health, and his Defeatist ability kicked in, lowering his attack and letting us survive to take him out on the next round. That was a first try at the Pokemon Champion. Once again, this was a super fun Regigigas run. It's a shame I don't have any more games to do a Regigigas run in. I mean, until I finally get around to Pokemon X and Y runs. Maybe I've got to bug Scott into making another backport for me or something. Regigigas and Emerald would be cool. I really hope you guys like that run. The next Pokemon Challenge should be up next week on Saturday like usual, with Pokemon Soul Silver with 1 Cyndaquil. As always, I'm looking forward to your suggestions in the comments in the challenge request section of my Discord channel and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Alright, outro time. So I've got some big plans coming up for these Pokemon challenges before the end of the year, including a nice Christmas present for you guys that I know that you'll be incredibly pumped for, and honestly, I'm pretty pumped for it too. But I guess Christmas is still a little ways away, you know? I'm recording this early October, mid-October, October the 18th. Yes, the 18th. So this is going to go up probably last challenge before Halloween. Maybe I should have done a Halloween run. Whatever, don't worry about it. But I got some fun stuff coming up for the rest of the year, including some fun stuff in Pokemon Black 2 and White 2, which I'm excited for because I think that game's really fun. So I wanted to do some fun runs in that. But the Christmas episode this year is going to be a real fun one. It's not going to be Christmassy. It's more of you guys getting a Christmas present, but I don't want to spoil too much. I can't go spoiling the present, you know? Other news, I started doing streams of RimWorld again, which I adore that game. My last stream through of that game was way back in 2018. That's actually what got me a partnership on Twitch back in the day. Was streaming that almost every single day for like over a month. That playlist is on this YouTube channel, the 2018 RimWorld playlist, but like that game has seen so many updates since then. You know, I've been playing it the whole time since then. It's just, you know, I haven't done anything on the show with it, but there's 4 DLC for the game now, and there was no DLC back then. I've been playing that game for 11 years now. I went back through my inbox and I checked my receipt for when I bought it, because it's not even been on Steam that long. The alpha used to be on like the developer's website and you could buy it from there, and that's where I bought it. Back in October of, 11 years ago, so it was 2013. It was October of 2013, early October. That's crazy to think. So that's up on the channel now. Some of it is, I'm imagining that it's probably set to public by now, by the time that this video is going up, but as always, you can just go to the playlist section and sort by newest added, and you'll see whatever playlists you're looking for, whatever videos, even before that they've gone public. You know, I like having them viewable before they're public through the playlists, because that's just kind of fun, you know? It's fun having it there for if you want to binge it, and then I can make it public later. That way I'm not making everything public all at once and spamming your feeds, you know? It's the best of both worlds. You both get to binge the series if you want to binge the series, but you also get, you get to binge without having it spam your whole feed constantly. So yeah, that's the plan. More RimWorld, probably going to start with some more Crusader Kings 3 again soon, because people always loved those playthroughs of Crusader Kings 2 and 3 back in the day, and I want to do more of that. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube on premiere day, I'm probably going to be streaming PokeRogue in a few minutes as soon as this outro ends. most of the time after these premieres, when these Pokemon challenges go live. Most of the time when the premiere ends, I go straight to streaming Pokerogue, either on Twitch or on YouTube. I'll be there in the chat letting you know if that stream is on or not today and where it'll be. In fact, if you look in the chat messages, it'll be the pinned one right at the top. And if it's on Twitch, you'll have a clickable link to Twitch there. And if it's on YouTube, you don't even need a clickable link because I'll have the YouTube page you're on set to automatically send you to the stream shortly after the stream ends. It's a little buggy, but it seems to work if you just give it a few minutes, you know? Yeah, so you might be seeing me stream some Pokerogue in a couple minutes. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.